The race toward AI is only getting hotter, and some consumers are already paying the price. Rite Aid, the pharmacy many of us go to every day, has officially been banned from using facial recognition technology for the next 5 years. The FTC said the drugstore chain repeatedly misused its surveillance systems and falsely identified thousands of innocent customers, labeling them shoplifters. That includes an 11-year-old girl who was stopped and searched by store employees. According to the AP, Rite Aid said it disagrees with the allegations, but it is glad it reached an agreement and resolved the issue. My friend and colleague, NBC News tech correspondent Jake Ward joins me now. Jake, problem one. I don't think anybody knew when they walked into a Rite Aid there was facial recognition technology tracking them. What in the world happened here?
Well, that's right. I mean, between 2012 and 2020, if you were in one of the major cities that was covered by this program, then yeah, you would walk into a Rite Aid in a place like Baltimore, Philadelphia, San Francisco, and you would be sucked up into a facial recognition system, not only that you didn't know about, but that according to this FTC complaint, the employees of Rite Aid were instructed not to tell you about. Now, I've been speaking to people, close to the original project and learning some really interesting things about it. And really, the reason this is so fascinating as a tech story, Steph, is that it really mirrors something that we see time and again, which is that this began with these sort of lofty ambitions, this idea that you could create this very sort of invisible, high-fidelity, very powerful system that would create a very, high-quality database of images to find repeat shoplifters. And then rather than grab them, humiliate them, even arrest them, the theory was that you would just walk up to them and say very politely, "May I help you, ma'am? May I help you, sir?" And by doing so, they would become sort of embarrassed and leave. That was the original concept. But we're in a world, Steph, where, as you have seen and we have talked about over and over again, right, worker satisfaction, the number of workers actually working in a retail environment are shrinking, morale is low, training is low, and into that environment this went, and suddenly workers were improvising. This ad hoc system began to be developed where they were simply grabbing people out of line, people who were very often misidentified, humiliating them in front of their friends, their colleagues, even calling the police on them. And so you saw this very sort of high-minded, ambitious program devolve into something that nobody really intended, and the FTC had to step in there and say enough is enough, Steph.
Okay, well, the FTC stepped in, so you might think this is a positive step, but it doesn't do anything going forward protecting consumers from other companies it just seems like this is a huge privacy violation, and we're all completely exposed without new regulation.
Well, it's very interesting. I think you're absolutely right in terms of regulations, right? We still in this country do not have any actual data privacy protections, any data transparency protections, except that the FTC is stepping in here and saying a couple of really interesting things. And these things are new, and this is why it's so notable. One is they're saying you have to be able to prove on an ongoing basis. This is talking to Rite Aid, of course, but people I've been speaking to close to the FTC say that this is going to be the standard going forward in everything that they try and push for, that you're going to have to prove that this works, not just in the lab, not just in theory, but you got to prove on an ongoing basis that this works in the real world. They're saying this is going to be the end of live experimentation on all of us, which we've seen before now. And the other big one here is that Rite Aid loses that data, right? That all of those faces in the database have to be wiped. That's part of this order. And that is a big deal in the bigger world of things like AI, where companies might, make a mistake with all that data and then come back and try again. Well, in this case, Rite Aid does not get to try again. I've also been talking to people who say, close to the industry, who say that other big retailers who've been experimenting with facial recognition are suddenly so worried about being painted with the brush of appearing racist in the results, the way that Rite Aid wound up doing so, that they are in fact pulling back from facial recognition. They'd rather take the hit of shoplifting than worry about that kind of public image issue, because it can absolutely destroy shareholder value. So there's something positive here and big, I think, moving in tech, Steph.
Positive, big, and really messy. Jake Ward, you make us smarter on this stuff every time you're here, and it's important because it's complicated and it's happening every single day.